Greetings students and welcome to the Manifested e-learning platform. This is as our first day of this lesson. We are going to learn about English, all right? Before we learn about English, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Linda Kagai, a teacher of English and literature. I have been teaching for the past 8 to 10 years. I have vast experience in both sections, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, literature, grammar, listening and speaking, writing, all right, so you're in the best hands. I have also studied my master's in also linguistics. I also have trained, I'm a trained examiner in English paper 3, so you're in the best possible hands, all right? Sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the session. We are going to look at English. Why do we study English? One is, what is the objective of teaching English in secondary schools? Even you as a student, sometimes I know you ask yourself, why am I learning English? All right? And one of the objectives of English is that by the end of the 4 years, okay, after okay, so we are looking at English as a subject, all right? Our main focus to have this lesson is to understand English. It is a language that is part of our curriculum in Kenya, okay? It is part of our language planning policy, like it's part of our official language, hence the importance of why it is taught in schools. It also helps you maybe to understand subjects. But now, what is the main focus, all right? The objective is that after 4 years of studying English, the student must be morally upright. The student must be respectful and practice universal roles. So all those aspects in English, the listening and speaking, we have 4 aspects. We have listening and speaking in our syllabus. We have listening and speaking. We have grammar, okay? We have comprehension. And we have writing, okay? Maybe we might also have literature. Okay? So, but when you open the first textbook, you will look at listening and speaking, you will see grammar, you'll see comprehension, you'll see writing, okay? And even as you interact with your teachers as well, you'll also encounter literature through the stories that they tell you, through the books that you read, through the novels, through the class readers. You will encounter literature and even be able to understand some words. But what is the intention of teaching all these things? The main focus is to help you to be morally upright. All this will help you to be respectful. All this will help you to have universal human roles. Are you together? So that as you study, okay, you'll be able to, one of the things you should be able to do is to be a critical thinking, okay? Other objectives of teaching English. Okay, or maybe purposes of teaching English. It is to enable a student to be a critical thinker. Can you be able to analyze something? Can you be able to make assumptions about something? Can you be able to think through something when you're given a comprehension passage? If you've been told to give an opinion on something, can you be able to do so? So this English will equip you with knowledge on how to be a critical thinker. Another thing is that it will help you in interpretation. You will need this knowledge, not just here, but even outside high school. Can you be able to interpret situations when you encounter them? Can you be able to interpret can you be able to make a presumption about something? All right, it makes, when you study all these aspects, you should be able to be a good interpreter of aspects, not interpreter in terms of subject, or maybe in terms of changing a word from Swahili to English, but interpretation in that, can you be able to understand something in depth? All right, then another thing is that we should be able to communication in terms of we have different aspects in communication. We have reading, we have listening, we have speaking, we have writing. So all these aspects, okay, you will be able to communicate because of maybe having the ability to read, having the ability to listen, having the ability to speak, and having the ability to write. So by the end of the 4 years, you should be able to read, listen, speak, and write intelligibly. All right. So as you study English, internalize this. I'm just not only learning a language, but a language that will help me outside school. Okay. That will help me even interact with other people. What are you teaching the world when you get out of the school? All right. Number 4, we're looking at the moral value impact. Okay. As you interact with people out there, okay, what have you learned about interaction? Okay, that border rider, we call them border riders, right? How can you talk to them that makes you look like someone who has been to school and knows how to speak to people? The idea of etiquette in conversations. It's also found here in listening and speaking. When you're talking to another person in another platform, for example, you've gone for an interview, how you present yourself. Okay, this is all about the moral value impact. When you're a politician out there and you're addressing people, you know, the way you address people will show whether you've learned moral values at school. You can only learn moral values in English. You can only learn moral values in English because the society has lost a lot because maybe of the social and political and economic times that we face every day. So for us not to lose that part of us that makes us human, we learn that through English. So it's a very important aspect. Don't just look at it as something that is easy or something that came through the sea, as people call it, that it's a language that came through the sea. No, it is something that will not only help you be, you know, universally, you know, ready to face anything in the world, or maybe make you to be able to use it not only in Kenya but also outside. Wherever you go, you will use it. But no, it also helps you in other internal processes, you know, the critical thinking aspect, the interpretation aspect, the communication aspect, the moral value aspect. And under communication, which is the most important thing, the first thing that someone will say that this student has been taught English is when you look at how you read, how you speak, how you listen, okay, how you write. That will show us whether you've learned English or not, and even how you interpret situations, how you critically think before you answer something. All these careers will require that. All right, it's something that you cannot really do without. And you know, it's only in English that we get to publish articles and you get to see how people speak. All right, it's only through our understanding and maybe our competence in the language. All right, so it's something that we cannot really do without. As we step forward to understand what English is, as we get deeper into learning grammar, learning literature, learning, you know, comprehension, and how to answer these questions in English, let us come into it with an open mind that at the end of it all, we're going to benefit, we're going to come out of it as better students, competent students, not only in the spoken, but also in the written, and also morally upright, all round, which can be able to benefit from learning English. So take it as something that is not, that shouldn't be shoved aside as just some students do, but this is something that will help you even in your career. You know, for you to do some careers, you need to have a very good grade in English. For you to be that doctor, you need to be a very good student in English. So let's not just shove it aside. Let us dedicate all our time to understand what this English is in all its aspects, so that we can be able to be better and even ensure that we have captured this at the end of the 4 years as a student. All right, I do wish you a lovely time, and as we get through it all, we'll get to know each other, we'll get to interact, we'll get to understand other aspects in English. I do wish you a lovely moment.